All right, it is now Sunday, so a couple of days have gone by, and I have successfully duplicated all 4 top plates and all 4 bottom plates. I didn't film this stuff because I already had one video showing the duplication of this top plate, and the duplication of the bottom plates are they're pretty straightforward. They're all jigsaw work, so I figured it would be too boring to film all of that. So the only thing that I have left now, I've also got all the holes drilled in these, every single one of them. The only thing that I have left now is to duplicate. So I've got all like 4 of these squares. I need to duplicate them 4 times. So 4 times 4. 16, is that 16? Yeah, I think so. And then I also have to duplicate these verticals, 4 of those, so I need 16. And finally, I have to duplicate these little feet that hold the battery in. So 2 of those times 4, 8. And then I will have to duplicate my copper bus bars. So we're far from done, but we're getting there. We're getting close. So I'm gonna look around and see if I have any scrap that I can maybe turn into these. If not, I may have to mill something. These are poplar. They don't have to be poplar, obviously. It was just some poplar scrap that I had laying around when I made the original. And then these guys are pine. So, and then there has to be a lot of drilling that happens afterward too, because nothing has been drilled yet. So, but hopefully my goal today is to get all of the wood pieces finished being duplicated. And if I can do that, then, you know, I go back to work tomorrow, and I can probably spend the evenings drilling and remounting things over the week, and that'll be pretty quick. So let's see if we can find some scrap. Okay, so I think I found a candidate for my rectangles here. I called them squares earlier, but they're not squares, they're rectangles. So these have 4 holes here that go all the way through, and they're countersunk here, but then they also have 2 holes at the top. This one has 4 because I kind of screwed up, but it's just got 2 at the top. And so this one is on the top of the battery, and the top plate screws to it from the top. And then I believe it's probably this guy here. Yeah, this is the bottom. So this one is similar. So I think the outside pieces, the verticals, attached to this here. And then this is where the battery strap connects, and then these 3 are where the bottom plate gets screwed onto it. So, but they're pretty much the same size, right? It's not perfect, but it's pretty much the same size, and dimensions aren't super important here. So I found this piece that is pretty much the same height. It's a little thicker. It's almost exactly the same height. And at first I thought, well, what if I do this? Then I've got more than enough of these. This is a scrap from like an old project that Isaac was working on, my son. He abandoned it, so might as well use it because it's already been planed and, you know, finished and everything. Or planed and ripped and jointed, milled. But anyway, so I thought about doing it here, but the problem is the grain direction matters. You don't want to screw into end grain, right? So that's why I never have any screws in the end grain. Those are weak connections. What you want to do is you want to go cross grain. So if I do it like this, then I would be screwing into end grain because the grain is going this way. I'd be screwing into end grain for these top and bottom connections. So that's not a good plan. So I'm thinking I'll probably make them like this. And that's not quite as efficient of a use of the board because I'll have this bit of waste on the edge. but I think it'll still be enough for me to make all the pieces that I need. So I think I'm going to do this on the table saw. That will be the most efficient way to do it. My table saw is covered in parts right now, so I'll have to move those parts probably over to this table. One of the perils of having a small woodworking shop in your basement, you know, you've always got to spend a bunch of time moving shit around. But yeah, I think I'll rip this on the table saw and then I'll cross cut everything. And that operation will go pretty quick. Now, as far as these go, I did find this one piece of scrap, and that'll probably allow me to make one set, but it's probably not going to be enough for more than one set. So I have a few other pieces of scrap that are similar in size. They're not exact, but they're close. And I'll use one of those. And I'll probably rip that stuff on the table saw too if I need to. So I'll clear off the table saw and then we'll get started. All right, so I've got my fence set to 2 3/8. And that appears to be the correct width because I can just barely slide my piece into the saw blade. So we're gonna rip the board this way, and we'll do that twice. And then we'll have a little bit of castaway left over, and then we'll cross cut it with the crosscut sled. All right, here we go. All right. There we go, perfect match. Very nice. There's 2. Now we can cross-cut those. All right, so at this point, we need to cross-cut all of these to length. I think they can all pretty much be the same length. So this is the cross-cut sled here. Got it set at a 90-degree angle. What I'm gonna do is just going to put my example block in here, and I've got this tool that I made. It's just a pointed piece of wood, and that's going to go in there as my stop. And I'm going to clamp it down. And that way, as I'm cutting this, I get some reproducibility. So every time I put a new piece in here, all I have to do is take my piece, put it right there, and bring it forward, and it'll be cross-cut properly. So let's go ahead and do it. One. Two. Three. Four. Five. 6. This one's too small. 7. Let's do that one again. There we go. Eight. 9. 10. 11. 12. I think we just barely had enough. And then comparing that to the original, it is indeed the same length perfectly. It is indeed the same size perfectly, and same height. So these are great copies. Real happy with that. And it's made out of pine, so it's even lighter weight than the poplar, I think. All done. All right, and same thing with the verticals. The dimensions on these aren't terribly important. The only thing that matters is, you know, they're going to be vertical like this, and they just need to be able to support the weight of the battery as I pull it out of the case. So I put my stop, I put my clamp, and we're just going to bring these forward and cut them. So this is my test piece, or my setting piece. And then there's our first piece to cut. So let's go ahead and do it. Need 12 of these as well. It's 2. 3. 'And again, this is just scrap that I had laying around. 4. 5. 6. 7. And that one's too small. 8. 9. 10. 11. That one's too small. So this stuff's a different dimension, but it'll be fine for my purposes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off this end right here. And there's 12. So that's pretty much all there is to it. As you can see, not all of these are the same width or height, but they are all exactly the same length, and the length is all that matters to me. I can always vary my screw length if I need to. I just need them all to be the same height. So there you go. Beautiful. All right, and just so you know, anytime I'm placing this clamp or the stop here, I always unplug the saw because I just, you know, it's a good habit to be in case the saw turns on for some reason. So I need to make these stops. I need to make 2 per. So I need to make 3 times 2 of them, so 6. They're very small, and I really don't want to put my finger in there. That seems like a recipe for disaster. So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm just going to try to hold it like this, and hopefully they don't kick back when I pull the sled back. We'll see what happens. So these are just the little cleats that hold the battery in on the one side. All right, let's do it. Use some of the scrap from last time. Again, I only need 6 of these, so. One. Two. Three. Four. 5. And there's the last one. Didn't lose any fingers. Always a success. All right, here's all our pieces. So we've got our rectangular blocks, we've got our vertical supports, we've got our little cleats to hold the battery in, we've got our top plates, and we've got our bottom plates. So I believe the only thing left to do at this point is to start reassembling everything and drilling screws, fasteners to connect everything. So pretty exciting. We're almost there. And I think I'll probably pinch off this video at this point. So thanks for watching and please subscribe.